Hello students, welcome to the Post-GATE Guidance 2017 for Electronics and Communications. So first of all, I want to congratulate the students who have performed very well and got top ranks in the GATE 2017. Okay, I think this result has to be one of your greatest achievement because it is going to lead to a very great career. So it is a day to party for you. And I think you are very much excited for this particular session, so that you can have the guidance of what to choose and what not to choose. And second thing is that for the students who didn't perform very well to the expectation and who didn't perform to their potential, so I think you are very disappointed on this particular day, but still you remember that every failure is going to be a stepping stone for success. So today is a day that you have to once again analyze yourself where you have actually made the mistakes. So what we'll try to do is that at the end of the session, we'll try to invest some time to help and say what to go ahead if your GATE rank is not very good. Right? So I'll first of all introduce myself. My name is Santosh Kumar. So I'm working as a subject matter expert in the GATE Academy. Right? So I personally have a GATE rank of 286 in the year 2012. I worked as a trainee scientist for a span of 2 years in Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So this is about myself. So let us, without wasting any time, let us go ahead and start the session. So we know that the day we have started our preparation for the GATE examination, we know the opportunities which are present through the GATE examination. So there are three very important opportunities in the GATE examination. So the first thing is that if we are interested to pursue the higher education, so definitely the GATE is one of the very important examinations. That is the reason why we have written the examination. So the second thing is, of course, if you are looking for a job or a public sector undertaking, so definitely, okay, you might have worked very hard for that. So third one is, of course, for research opportunities. So we'll go one by one. So before starting with the higher education, I just want to make one thing clear. Now, what is the difference between the GATE rank and GATE score? Okay, is there any difference, or they are one and the same? The answer is they are not one and the same. So I'll tell you when the GATE rank is going to be very helpful, when the GATE score is going to be very helpful. So what is going to be the most important parameter? Is the GATE rank or GATE score? So we know that you will be provided a GATE rank provided you have cleared the cutoff. So all the students who have cleared the cutoff, they will be arranged in a particular order. So you are going to have a GATE rank according to that. Whereas a GATE score is a number that is taking all the competition into consideration and all the papers into consideration. So they will be marking you out of 1000. That is a GATE score. Now when the GATE rank is going to be useful? So GATE rank will be useful very much when you are competing with your own stream students. For example, you are applying for a specialized branch where only the students of electronics and communication students are going to come there to face the interview. Or you are going to compete with those students who are of your own stream. Then it doesn't matter whether it is a GATE rank or a GATE score. It is going to be one and the same, but there generally the GATE rank is taken into consideration. Now when the GATE score is going to be the most important, in fact the GATE score is going to be very important when compared to the GATE rank. The reason is that, okay, it is because it will take all the streams into consideration. For example, if you are selecting a particular stream where you are facing electrical students, you are facing instrumentation students, you are facing probably mechanical students, and you are also facing computer science students or civil students. So you can have such a stream where you are competing with a interdisciplinary stream of students. So in such a case, definitely the GATE score will be taken into consideration. Or when you are looking for any management course or PhD or abroad education, so definitely the GATE score is going to be very, very important because it will take all the streams into consideration. Okay, so for example, if I want to elaborate further, if you have an All India GATE rank of, for example, 300, where your GATE score is around 800 or 815, now an instrumentation student who got an All India GATE rank of 50 probably will have a GATE score of around 750. So we can say that when these two people go to the interview, so definitely the student who has a higher GATE score will be having a higher priority, provided the interview for both of them will go very well. So that is the difference between the GATE rank and GATE score. So going ahead, we will see about the higher education. What are the opportunities that are there for the higher education? So you can see on the slide. So there are different opportunities which are present in the name of higher education. You can have ME course, you can have an MTech course, you can have MS course, you can have an integrated MTech PhD course, you can have a direct PhD course, you can have abroad opportunities, you can also have a management course. So there are a huge number of opportunities through the higher education which are waiting for you. So you might have a feeling that what is the difference between ME, MTech and MS? We know all the three are going to be masters. So definitely we have to know the difference between ME course, MTech course and MS course. See, generally in the colleges in general there will either be an ME course or an MTech course. But there will be some colleges like IISc where you will have both ME course as well as an MTech course. So in that case, ME is going to be more important and the competition is going to be very high, or they will get more filled earlier when compared to the top of the MTech course. Okay, ME course and MTech course, if a college has both of them, then ME course is going to be more research oriented when compared to the top of an MTech course. So that is the difference that we have. Okay, so MTech course is going to be more industrial oriented and ME course is going to be research oriented. And same goes with the MS. Okay, many colleges have MTech as well as MS. Okay, so MTech course is generally going to be a 2-year course. So it is more majorly going to be a course which is aimed at industrial training. So definitely it is not going to be very much a research oriented course. Now whereas an MS course, generally it is going to be of 3 years, not 2 years. So it is going to be more than 2 years, the MS course. So it is going to be more or less a research oriented course. So the point to take here is that many colleges are going to have either an ME course or an MTech course. So some colleges, if they have an ME course or MTech course, so ME is going to be of higher priority when compared to that of MTech course. This point will be clarified when we discuss about the college of IISc. So I will once again tell you the difference between the MTech course, the core and interdisciplinary and MS course. Okay, there is a difference between a core course where it's a specialization course and whereas an interdisciplinary course where you will be competing with the other stream students, and the third one is the MS course. Now generally this particular pattern has been observed when you are seeing the MTech core, MTech interdisciplinary and MS course. Okay, so we have a direct admission, we have only GATE plus interview, we have a GATE along with the exam once again and again an interview. So generally you observe that in the case of MTech core, there is going to be a direct admission. There is generally going to be a direct admission only based on the GATE. Okay, it is only the GATE score that is going to be taken into consideration. Nothing else is going to be taken. There will not be any interview, there will not be any exam. So in the case of a direct admission, that will be happening for a MTech course for core. That is not the case, the direct admission is not the case for interdisciplinary, and also not for MS. Okay, so MTech core is only going to have an examination. There is nothing else that is important. But we know that that is going to be filled probably within top 100 ranks. Okay, so more or less the students are going to be lying greater than the top 100. So taking that into consideration, so we have to be prepared for GATE, exam and interview. Okay, GATE you have already performed and you have to take an exam and you have to also prepare for an interview. So generalized thing is that you have to be preparing for an exam, you have to be preparing for interview once again. Okay, so of course you have already cleared the GATE, so there is no headache about GATE. Now you have to be preparing once again for the exam and an interview. So generally in the case of MS, there is going to be an GATE plus interview. Generally in the case of MTech, where you are competing for interdisciplinary course, there is going to be a GATE exam, plus the dedicated exam conducted by the college, and then an interview. Okay, so if you are for MTech interdisciplinary, definitely there is going to be a gate plus the dedicated exam conducted by the college and also the interview. Okay, but for MS, it can either be gate plus interview or gate plus exam plus interview. That can be the case for the students who are looking for MS course, right? So this is the difference between the MTech and MS. Okay, and again we have discussed about MTech core and MTech interdisciplinary. What will be the differences? Generally, in the case of core, you are only going to have a direct admission. In the case of a MTech interdisciplinary, you have to be preparing for exam you have already done. So you should be preparing once again for the exam conducted by the college, and then you have to face an interview. Okay, so overall this is the case. And now I will show you one more thing which differentiates between the top and MTech course and MS course. So I've already told you that MTech course is going to be a 2 years course and MS course is going to be greater than 2 years. It can be till 3 years also. Right. So in the case of an MTech course, you are going to have 2 semesters of classwork. In fact, 3 semesters of classwork and 1 semester of project work. Generally, this is the case. You can have the first 2 semesters is going to be classwork, or first 3 semesters is going to be classwork, and the final semester or final 2 semesters is left for the project work. This is for MTech. Now, if you are going for MS, then the first sem is going to be for classwork, and generally from the second sem onwards you're going to have a project work. If not the case, you're going to have first and second sem for the classwork, and then the remaining 2 years or 2 years or 1.5 years is for the project work. So this is the case because we know that MTech is going to be completed within 2 years, whereas the MS is going to be more than 2 years, maximum till 3 years. So generally the emphasis will be more in the classwork for the MTech students, and for the MS students the emphasis will be more for the project work. Now students, we will look at the order of preference. I'm showing you here the general order of preference. Okay, so because we are all from electronics and communications, we will be having these specializations, out of which we have to select the specialization of interest. So here I am sharing with you the general order of preference of the specializations. So if you are getting the choice, so definitely you have to go for VLSI or microelectronics. Okay, that is going to be a very important course where generally the placements are very high, or the opportunities are extremely high. The second thing is communication systems. So if you are not getting VLSI or if you are not getting a microelectronic course, so definitely you have to be looking for communication systems, and then followed by integrated electronics, and then followed by microwave engineering, then signals and systems, nanotechnology, optoelectronics, and control and automation. So generally the first 4 are going to be the core specializations, and the next 4 are going to be the interdisciplinary courses, where you are going to be competing with the other stream students. Okay, so I'm telling once again, VLSI, microelectronics, communication systems, integrated electronics, microwave engineering. These are going to be the core specializations, and your order of preference should be such that you have to be looking for first of all the core specializations, and then you can go for signals and systems or nanotechnology or optoelectronics or control and automation. But having said that, some colleges will have some courses which are going to be the topmost courses. Okay, for example, in your IIT Madras, communication systems is going to be a very important course. So unless and until you are passionate about a particular course, or a particular college which you are selecting is going to have a topmost course at that particular course, so otherwise this is going to be the generalized order of preference. Okay, so after discussing about the order of preference, now we will be looking at the preference of the institutes. Okay, you have so many number of institutes. If you are falling within the range of 2000, probably you might have a doubt in your mind which one to select first, which one to select second. Okay, so that is the reason why we are making this particular PGG here. So this is going to be a generalized order of preference of institutes. So if you are starting from the gate rank number 1, generally you have to be looking for IISc Bangalore. So if you want a more research oriented course, okay, where there are very great number of opportunities for research. Majority of the students who do their masters in IISc, they will be going for the postdoctorate. right? So they will be doing their PhD abroad. So majorly the IISc Bangalore course is going to be a course which is going to be more oriented towards research than for placements. Okay, but having said that, it doesn't mean that it is going to have very less number of placements. It will have a decent number of placements, but the college is not known for its placement. It is known for its very good research. So the second college is going to be IIT Bombay. So IIT Bombay, there is a strong competition that is going to be there when you are choosing between IISc or IIT Bombay, because IIT Bombay is known for its placements. There are very great number of placements in the college of IIT Bombay. So definitely these two colleges are going to be very important. So we are keeping it in a group 1 course, group 1 sort of colleges. The second group colleges are going to be IIT Delhi, then IIT Kanpur, and then IIT Madras. So but I will tell you one thing, that when your gate rank is going to exceed 100, you have to be definitely preparing for exam and interview. I've already told you that, because generally the gate rank more than 100, okay, generally you will have an exam or you will have an interview. So definitely it is recommended that as soon as you get your gate rank, you should be preparing for an interview or a exam conducted by the college. Okay, so the group 2 colleges are, the order of preference is going to be IIT Delhi, and then IIT Kanpur, and then IIT Madras. Right, the group 3 college is going to be IIT Kharagpur. Okay, and then a group 4 college is IIT Guwahati, and you have IIT Roorkee, and also you have IIT BHU. So in group 3 you can also have a different opportunity, that you can apply for IIT Bombay as a research assistant, or IIT Delhi for MS course, or IIT Delhi for JCA course. Okay, so if your rank is falling in this particular range, you can apply in IIT Bombay as a research assistant. The reason is very simple, because the placements are very high. Okay, or you can go for IIT Delhi for MS course, or you can go for IIT Delhi for JCA course. So group 4 colleges are going to be, as I've told you, IIT Guwahati, IIT Roorkee, and IIT BHU. And I've already mentioned the ranks for which you have to be going for the particular colleges, and I'm telling you, I'm not promising you that it is going to be the same. It is going to be around the same scenario, but it will not exactly be the same thing. Okay, probably you are getting a rank around 1000 and you are getting a college of IIT Delhi. That can happen. Okay, it is not that if you are getting a rank somewhere around 700, you should not be applying for maybe IIT Bombay or IIT Delhi. You have to apply, but generally we are giving here the cutoff based on what was there in the past, but it can change in the future or in the current. So we have discussed about up to group 4 colleges. Now we are going for group 5 colleges, starting with IIT Bhubaneswar, so IIT Gandhinagar, and then IIT Hyderabad, IIT Rajasthan, then IIT Indore, IIT Mandi, IIT Patna, and IIT Ropar. I want to make a special mention of the college of IIT Hyderabad and IIT Rajasthan, because the colleges are slowly emerging as very, very good colleges out of the group 5 IITs. So probably you have to be looking for IIT Hyderabad very seriously. Now we will be looking at NITs. Okay, see, we have seen the group 5 colleges IITs, and then now we are looking at NITs. So you have to understand that NITs and group 5 colleges of IITs are almost on par with each other. Sometimes the top NITs are going to have higher order placements when compared to the group 5 IITs have already shown. So here, okay, you have NIT Tirchi starting with, and then you have NIT Warangal, and then you have NIT Surathkal, NIT Calicut. So these 4 colleges are going to be very, very important colleges of NITs. Okay, then you go for NIT Delhi, and then go for NIT Allahabad, followed by NIT Rourkela, and NIT Jamshedpur, NIT Durgapur, NIT Jalandhar, NIT Raipur, NIT Jaipur, then going for the colleges of Jadavpur University, Kolkata. And at last we are showing you the group 6 college, Delhi Technical University, BITS Pilani, and you can go for COEP Pune. So these are the colleges that you have to be looking for if your rank is going to be less than 2500. So if your rank is greater than 2500, probably you can apply for the colleges. You can apply for the colleges, but more often than not, you are going to be ending up group 5 colleges or group 6 colleges. Okay, so at last you can have a group 7. When your rank is greater than 2500, you can get government universities or private engineering colleges. Okay, so these are the preference of institutes. We have shown you the 7 groups of colleges that we can have. Okay, so we are not emphasizing a lot on the government universities and private engineering colleges. The reason is that you people know better about the regional colleges that you have. So that is the reason why we are not emphasizing a lot on the government universities and the private engineering colleges. Okay. So now we'll start with IISc. Okay, we will start with IISc. We will be discussing about very important colleges. In case if your rank is less than 500, this is going to be very, very useful for you. So, starting with IISc. So in the IISc, you're going to have, in fact, 3 master's programs. The first one is ME course, then you have an MTech course, and then you have an MS course. So ME, the seats are going to be filled up for the All India GATE rank less than 50. So where you have a direct admission. And then you're going to have an MTech course where generally the cutoff is less than 700 or 1000. And then you have an MS course for a rank generally around 1000, 1500. Okay, sometimes it is less than 1000. So in case if it is a rank less than 50, there is no problem at all. So if you are having a rank greater than 50, you have to be preparing for the written examination. Okay, so when you are preparing for the written examination, you have to be giving emphasis for engineering mathematics that you have learned in your GATE. So next college is IIT Mumbai. I already told you that these 2 colleges are going to be the best colleges for us. Here also you're going to have a direct admission if your All India GATE rank is going to be less than 150. So controls and systems is going to be a very important discipline for us, especially if you are looking for IIT Bombay, where there is a direct admission. For the interdisciplinary courses, there will be different sorts of lists. Okay, there will be list 1, list 2, list 3, and also there is a provision of spot admission. Where there is a vacancy, you will be intimated about the vacancy and you can directly take the admission. So sometimes there is a research assistant job. I've already told you when we are discussing about group 4 colleges, there is a research assistantship. Okay, so that is there for some colleges. You have to be looking for that in the IITs that we have. Okay, so it is a 3-year program generally, and you are going to have a written test. Okay, generally conducted on 11th June for IIT Bombay. And then you have an IIT Delhi. So in the case of IIT Delhi, the direct admission is only for those students who are having their BTech percentage which is greater than 75 and a GATE rank which is around or more than 900. It can be less than this or greater than this. Okay, depending on the college, depending on the year that we are talking about, it can change. Okay, and generally we have observed that you should have a rank, we should have a GATE score which is around 900 to get a direct admission inside the IIT Delhi. So otherwise you have to be preparing for an interview and you will have a one long list with a waiting list of students. Okay, so if you are not falling in the zone of direct admission, then you have to be preparing for an interview. Okay, there will not be any examination, but there will be an interview, and at last after the interview there will be one long list along with that of a waiting list. So coming to the IIT Mumbai, IIT Madras. So in the case of IIT Madras, the best stream is going to be the communication systems, okay, followed by the VLSI. So we have a very good opportunity in the case of IIT Madras. We have something called as an MS program, which is a program conducted in the collaboration with that of Texas Instruments. So they will be providing you a stipend of around 25,000. Okay, so it is also going to be a very important opportunity, because later on after completing this particular course, you can get a direct placement inside the Texas Instruments. Okay, so coming to the interdisciplinary course offered by the IIT Madras, there are so many interdisciplinary courses, but the best thing is going to be the systems and control, which is very good. So in the case of IIT Kharagpur, you're going to have only interview. Okay, there is no direct admission, there is only an interview, and they will be giving many lists. Okay, list 1, list 2, list 3. So if your name is not present in the list 1, you should not be disappointed that you cannot have an eligibility into the Kharagpur. So they will be giving periodically different types of different number of lists. So you have to be waiting for your name. And then we'll be discussing about IIT Kanpur. So in the case of IIT Kanpur, there is one branch called as Power and Control, which has a capacity of around 40 students. We know that in the case of a master's course, generally the seats are not going to be greater than 50. But here in IIT Kanpur, you're going to have a stream of power and control where you're going to have the capacity of 40 students. It's a very good opportunity. And the bad thing is that there is only one list. They will not be generating more than one list. And there is one more opportunity in IIT Kanpur, that is nothing but Industrial Management and Engineering IME course, where it is going to be a sort of a hybrid course of management and engineering. So here they will be taking the GATE score into consideration. So along with the GATE score, there will be a group discussion along with a personal interview, which is a very important opportunity. Now students will be discussing about the foreign education. So we should be very proud of the GATE examination that there are also opportunities outside India, right? So there are 4 colleges especially that are taking the GATE into consideration. The first 2 colleges are very, very important colleges, and they are the colleges which have the international rankings less than 50. So NTU Singapore and NUS Singapore are the 2 colleges which are ranked less than 50. Even IISc and IITs are not going to have a place in that particular top 50. So apart from that, you have some more colleges in Germany which are taking the GATE score into consideration. So RWTH and TU Munich are the 2 colleges which are taking the GATE score into consideration. So if your GATE score or the GATE percentile, in fact, if it is greater than 90 percentile, you have to be looking for these opportunities. So there is one more opportunity in ISI, which is Indian Statistical Institute, so which generally provides MTech in computer science. But the good thing is that even EC students can go for it through the GATE score. And we have heard that the placements are very good once you get an admission into the Indian Statistical Institute. Okay, now we'll discuss about something called as NITI Mumbai, which is a management course in NITI Mumbai. So here the course that is offered is nothing but PGDIE. So here the procedure is also they'll take the GATE score into consideration, and then they'll be conducting the group discussion and the personal interview. And once again here, the All India GATE rank should be around 1000 to 1500. There is one more course in IIMs, which is nothing but FPM course or Fellowship Program for Management, which is for 4 to 5 years, and you will be given a handsome stipend of around 25 to 30,000. So this is going to be changing with different IIMs, but generally on an average the amount of stipend you are provided is going to be around 25,000 to 30,000. So till now we have discussed about the different opportunities that we have in higher education, because primarily GATE is only meant for the higher education. But we know that more than higher education, right now the students are looking for public sector undertaking jobs. So but you have to take one thing into consideration, that all the PSUs are going to end for a GATE rank less than 500. So if you are in a position of having a GATE rank less than 500, your opportunities are still present for the PSUs. Okay, so I hope that you have all filled the PSUs. Okay, whatever, I think there was a notification of different PSUs that was released, and now is the time for looking for the call from the respective PSUs. So I want to make one point very clear, that the weightage that is taken into consideration of GATE is around 85%, followed by generally a group discussion and a personal interview. In some places there is only a personal interview, but in other places there is a group discussion along with a personal interview. Now we will discuss about the research opportunities that are present. So we know that this time the DRDO has actually released the scientist positions, okay, based on the GATE score. So it's a very, very important opportunity. Now apart from that, you have a CSIR, which is providing the junior research fellowship through the GATE score. So apart from that, you also have an integrated course of MTech PhD offered in CSIR, where you are getting a stipend of around 20,000. Now you also have a JRF in DRDO, which is offering a stipend of around 25,000 along with the HRA. Now it's a very important opportunity in BARC. So there are 2 types of courses that are taken into consideration through the GATE score. So you will have an interview. You have to clear an interview, which is very, very important for PARC, and it is considered as the toughest interview out of all the interviews conducted, okay, for the masters or for the jobs. So PARC is going to be the very difficult interview, and it is also a very interesting interview. So here you have two programs, okay, one is OECS, which is a 1-year program, and the DGFS, which is going to be a 2 years program. For both of them, the stipend offered is going to be 35,000 in the training period. Now once you have completed your training period, then definitely you will be having a package of around 64,000. Okay, and you will not only that, you will be provided a scientist C cadre, which is a gazetted post. Okay, so here the thing is that generally we have observed that your GATE score has to be greater than 750. Now students, I want to discuss about few things for the students who didn't perform well in this particular GATE examination of 2017. I think you might have made some silly mistakes in the examination. That could be one of the possibility, the reason why you didn't get a very good GATE rank. Okay, so it is a time to check your mistakes. You have to analyze yourself very well, and then you have to analyze your strengths and weakness, because you have to analyze yourself before. If you consider that you have to give one more go for the GATE examination, it's very important to analyze your own performance in the GATE 2017. There are different reasons why generally students lose out in the GATE examination. First reason is probably they haven't given the test series very seriously. Second reason could be they haven't revised very well. Third reason could be you didn't get a very good amount of time for practice, or your time mismanagement in the examination, or last minute you might have fallen sick. So these are some things which are unfortunately happened to you. Probably with one more attempt you will be at your best. But if you are failing, if you are sitting 1 year long term, but still after giving sufficient amount of time, if you are once again failing, probably you have to think about the GATE examination to go ahead or not. Okay, and the best thing is that you have to check yourself whether you are suitable for it or not. But if you are not a student who is working very hard, definitely the GATE examination is not for you. Okay, so hard work, nothing is going to be replacement for the hard work in terms of the GATE examination. So these are the things that you have to check before taking the GATE once again. Okay, you have to see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. You have to analyze your performance very well. What are the subjects where you have performed very well? What are the subjects you didn't perform very well? You have to revise your strategy of your conceptual clarity, and whether you have practiced enough or not, whether you have revised enough or not, did you make any silly mistake? Those are the things you have to analyze if you feel that you have to be giving the GATE exam once again. So I want to end up by saying that because you have already prepared for GATE, so definitely based on the syllabus of what you have prepared for GATE, there are other opportunities. There are examinations conducted by ISRO or RRB or SAIL or Bharat Electronics Limited, Airport Authority of India, Electricity Boards. So these are the other opportunities that are available. So if you have prepared very well for the GATE, or you haven't performed very well in this particular examination, but still you have the other examinations where you have a very respectable jobs that are waiting for you. So with these words, I once again want to say congratulations for the students who have performed brilliantly in the GATE 2017, and I hope this particular session is very useful for you. Thank you.